So, hi, I'm Holly and I am a freelance graphic designer. And I thought what I would do is come in and do a quick go live into the group all about branding. So I think there's a massive misconception around branding and what it actually is. So I just wanted to go through like a few little things with you and really give you some things to really think about when it comes to branding. So branding and having a logo are two completely separate things. So a logo is an identity for your business, but branding is what Jeff Bezos said, and there's a really famous quote by him, which is branding is what people say about you when you're not in a room. So if you were in a room with loads of your dream customers and you left the room, what would you want them to say about you? So that's a really good question to ask yourself. How do you want them to feel? What do you want them to say about you? And that's almost along the same lines as a brand experience. So basically, as soon as somebody comes into contact with you and your business, they're experiencing your brand, whether that's a blog post, an email, a face-to-face meeting, a Skype call, absolutely anything. Their first touch of contact with you, they're experiencing your brand straight away. So obviously the first question is, what do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room, and say about your brand and your business, but also you want to carry how you want them to feel through everything that you do from now on as well. So let me know if I am on the right orientation on my phone, because I'm not sure whether it's gone a bit funny or not, so do let me know. So a few other things that you should consider when it comes to branding as well is, I would say there's sort of like 4 or 5 different things that you really need to consider. And the first one is your brand values. So this is really big in terms of making sure that you know what your brand values are and incorporating them into everything that you do. So actually, I did a blog post a couple of weeks ago about 7 brands that I absolutely love. And after doing a bit of research on them, literally all of them have got their brand values on their website. And they all have pretty much said that they ensure that their brand values are considered and reflected through everything that they do, through their products, through their services. So it's really good to clarify what your brand values are and how you can represent those through your products and services. So if you're not clear on those, it's really worth sitting down and thinking about your brand values. The other one was your brand mission, which is usually like 1 or 2 sentences, and it's pretty much what is your mission as a brand, like who are you helping and what are you aiming to do. And again, all these big brands out there all have pretty much one way or another got their brand mission on their website, and it's portrayed through absolutely everything that they do. The third thing that you really want to look at is your brand personality as well. Now this is really easy to do if you're a personal brand. So if you're a personal brand like a coach or a photographer or a freelancer like me, I'm a personal brand. You'll get other personal brands like that as well. And so in terms of your personality is actually going to be your actual personality coming through. Whereas if you're branding yourself as a business, you have to look at the personality for the business as a standalone entity. And you've got to think, what sort of personality do you want your business to have? So like things you could ask yourself is, if you could personify your business, what would their personality be like? How would they be dressed? What sort of car would they drive? If your brand was a car, what kind of car would it be and why? If your brand was an animal, what kind of animal would it be and why? And this will all really help you come up with the kind of personality that you want your brand to have. And then obviously you want to make sure that your personality is also being reflected through everything that you do too, because obviously you want your dream customers to relate and resonate with everything that you're saying and doing, and you're going to really appeal to them if you keep everything in mind. And then the other thing is positioning. So this is a really clever one, and it shows massive gaps in the market as well. So usually for positioning, you've got two axes like that. Oh. So you've got two values. So normally you would, I think the typical ones would be quality and price. But you can have whatever values you want on those two axes. And then what you do is you assess your competitors, you position those on the axes, and then you put where you are and actually see whether there's any gaps. So you want to be really clear as to how you're positioning yourself. And this will really help you figure out where you are right now, where you want to be, and what you need to do to move forward with your branding as well. And then the last thing I would say when it comes to branding is dream customers. So if you don't know who your dream customers are, this is the time to really look at them, because you really want to get to know them as people, their buying habits, but even the smallest things in terms of characteristics. So how old they are, what's their occupation, what's their income, where do they hang out at the weekends, what books and magazines do they like to read, what music do they listen to, what other brands do they like to buy from and why, which is all down to buying habits. What are their values themselves, what are their problems, and how can you solve their problems as well. So really getting to know who your dream clients are in depth is really going to help you in terms of your branding, because once you have all these sort of 5 things in order, so that was your brand mission, your brand values, your brand personality, your positioning and your dream customers, then once you've got all those clarified, you can then look at your visual branding going forward. So your visual branding is sort of basically where graphic design comes in, but you want to make sure that your visual branding is appealing to all those 5 things, and especially to your target audience as well, but also so that it reflects everything that we've just spoken about really. So your visual branding, so for example, say one of your brand values was positivity, energetic, freedom, then actually want to be looking at quite nice bright colours. Whereas say your brand values were sincere, I don't know, holistic, quite natural and honest, then actually you would want to look at really nice warm soft colours. So it's not just about the psychology of colours as well. Yes, they can totally tie in with your brand values, but on the other side you also want to make sure that those colours are appealing to your target market as well. So there's a lot of thought that goes into branding and visual branding and graphic design. So I just thought I would come on and talk to you about those a few little things about branding, and I hope you found this useful. Do let me know if you've got any questions at all.